want y'all to see something I was just watching. So, I'm trying to watch something. Let me see if I can find this shit. Alright, so. Alright, man. Let me show y'all something. So, this shit right here is this shit right here. It's the best way I can fucking put it. Let's get into it, bro. Rory and Peter Rosenburg. Peter Rosenburg from Hot 97. I guess that's some New York shit. New York radio. I don't listen to it no more. It's with him and Ebro and the other lady. I forget her name. But let's get into it.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. With our flexible plan, only pay for the data you use.
I'm up. Was Joe Budden? I'm sure this is with Rosenberg.
Accepted a gift.
Kicked off early.
Shout out to Chigs.
On, and then Rory eventually splitting with Joe. Here's what they each said about how they felt about splitting with Joe.
Framed big pun photo. That would have been nice. I would have accepted a gift, but I have no expectations.
And we don't have to go down, but I can promise you, Joe Budden was not going to buy you a photo of Big Pun and send it to your house.
That's not a bold. That's not. I hope that's not the boldest
it's
thing
like
you
if that's what you thought would happen, if Joe would just be, out on a Target run and run into a Big Pun.
Be like, you know what?
Photo. Be like, who would love this? Pete would love this.
Now.
But I mean, listen, I get it. I have no leg to stand on. I did a fucking 2.5 hour response video and charged $2 for it. So who the fuck am I to even comment? I get it.
You asked me the tough question earlier. I don't know if this comes up on your podcast often or not, but like, where are you and Joe right now?
Hook, line, and sinker. Peter Rosenberg baits Rory into saying some stupid shit.
No relationship.
None at all.
See, I was never even going to talk about this shit. And at some point, I'm going to have to do a fucking press run for my album, and I have to get prepared.
Oh, you know what? This is good practice.
To be asked this question 1,000 times, and yeah, I just have to figure out the best way I want to be represented with my answer.
That's true.
I was kind of over the entire thing. I didn't really hold. I was very angry in the beginning. Don't get it wrong. I was very fucking angry. Yeah. I was very hurt. I was fucked up. Yeah, it was a really shitty time in my life, personally and just business. Because again, how you're saying something you built and it's the biggest thing ever. Yeah, it was.
You had a much bigger role in it than I did.
It's what I knew for almost 7 years. That stopped in a day. So yeah, it was definitely fucked up. Obviously, there was the personal level of the entire thing. But I did start to get over it. I can't lie.
Bro, if y'all listen to this background music, this shit make it so much funnier.
When he did the press run with the DZA math thing, I kind of got pissed off.
He went on with Smokey and went on with math?
Yeah, and he might have done some other press as well. And of course, I'm never telling somebody that they're not allowed to talk about an experience they were involved with. I'm not mad at him doing press runs or anything. Just the things he said in it, I know he knows is completely untrue. So it just pissed me off again when I was getting to a place that I was kind of over the shit and like was in a place where like, yeah, I don't really fucking hate this person anymore. I know things are weird, but I don't hate them. But that press run put me in a place of like, what? Come on.
Right, it reignited the like actual anger about it for a while.
Like we're still on this, and your story is changing. Like, what is going on here? But it is what it is.
Listen,
I really don't hold crazy resentment for it. I really do wish everybody. I know this sounds political and corny. I really mean this. I do wish everyone the best. I think,
but it does make me feel. I do feel a weird. Like I care for Joe. I wish him the best. I do. He fucked me a couple times. He really fucked me good on the fucking XXX.
Bro, white people say the funniest shit. They say the funniest shit.
Tentacion passing when he said shit that I said and literally something that no one heard and said it in a way out of context that made me sound fucking like an insensitive monster. That shit, bro. I was getting straight up death threats. I'm like, bro, you took words that I said totally change them like you didn't know me. Like you think I'm a really bad person. Like, why would you have done that? See, but the thing is, Joe, it's always in his eyes, it's kind of always in the spirit of performance. And I don't think that's a legitimate excuse. But at the same time, I've made peace with it. And I don't let it affect, at this point, the way I view him overall. You know, I also do wish him the best. But obviously, your situation...
Now, if you guys go watch the full podcast, you guys will notice that Rosenberg is literally foaming at the mouth to talk about Joe Budden. He can't wait to get to the Joe Budden topic to see if Rory's gonna trash him. You guys are...
Yeah, he was on his ass, bro. Rory, you fell for that shit. But, let me show y'all some, because this is... Listen, let's find it. Peter Rosenburg. First one, bro. I'll tell you. First one. This industry shit funny, bro. I want y'all to hear this.
If you want to ace your paper, download Grammarly. Are you?
There are shows...
Shout out to them.
There are jabroni shows out there that are ranked higher than us because their people review it more often.
That's Peter Rosenburg on his podcast that I don't really know the name of.
And more regularly and more recently, and they have new subscribers.
That's it.
And Juan Ep should not be hovering. Listen, I don't care. That's why we haven't mentioned it very much. Because we don't look at it very much anymore. But as we make this push, Juan Ep shouldn't be 50th on the podcast. Music fucking podcast. I'm not going to live 49 spots below Joe Budden, okay? I know he's a very compelling guy, but give me a break. What the fuck is Joe saying? It's 49 spots more interesting than what we're doing on Juan Ep. Just because he's yelling louder?
Yeah, he's a loud yeller. So hit us up. Subscribe.
No, nigga, ain't nobody hitting y'all up. Shut the fuck up.
Fucking hilarious. Peter Rosenburg, man. Industry motherfucker. I don't think there's any more to that.
Yeah.
That shit was funny. Peter Rosenberg don't fuck with Joe. And I think Peter Rosenberg feels like he should be bigger than Joe because all the shit Joe did and been through in the back with, you know, his baby moms and shit like that. But and then when Joe was trying to promote an album, he came to Hot 97. You know, probably thinks he helped his career, but he kind of didn't. Anyway, so yeah, I thought Peter Rosenberg said, let's see what he was talking about as far as Joe making him look bad. XXX the fuck, Tentacion?
I'm available at Rosenberg Radio on Twitter and Instagram. We do not do a hip-hop show here, but I am a hip-hop guy. And so the news is official that a 20-year-old rapper from Miami who'd been one of the biggest new names in hip-hop over the last 2 years, as much for controversy and some of the stories about him being a bad guy as it was about his music, XXX Tentacion has been pronounced dead, shot in South Florida earlier today. One of those stories where it's a guy with the stories on him. There's a story in the Miami News a couple of weeks ago about him, the Miami New Times, I should say, and it was painted a picture of an incredibly troubled, sort of scary individual. And he had been accused of beating his pregnant ex-girlfriend. We're talking about a guy who was no angel, but still ends up, for me at least, when you hear stories like that, and then the guy ends up dead, still just a tragic story. So
what happened with that one was, I was watching Joe Budden podcast. I watched it a lot. The part where he said he was no angel, Joe kind of like clipped it and just kind of pointed it out. You don't really say that when someone did. I mean, X did have some fucked up shit going on. But he was a kid. And we give a lot of kids grace. Just, I mean, you could still do something wrong, but, you know, he was a kid. Who knows, if he lived to be 30, he probably would have said, damn, some stupid shit. So, yeah, that's what Joe highlighted, that he was no angel part. Whatever. happened? Oh shit, there's a pull-up from Slaughterhouse. Excuse me. Let's see what Vivica Fox said about Nick Cannon.
Let's talk about BetterHelp. If you ever feel anxious, depressed, stressed, overwhelmed,
Listen up.
This just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report.
Gossip.
With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Now, Alicia Keys was performing. She was out in Vancouver, and while she was performing New York, while she was walking by, a fan grabbed Alicia Keys' face and kissed her on the cheek as she moved through the crowd.
Come on, man. I know they say COVID is gone, but stop.
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox. Yeah, man. What you did? By the way, that's assault. That was pure D assault. That woman should have been arrested. Okay, immediately.
Security should have tackled her.
Absolutely.
They should have
Snatched her
tackled
right
her
on
right
up. I actually thought to myself, Alicia Keys should fire her security. Because that woman not only got that close, she was able to grab her and bring her in for a kiss on the cheek. Man, she needs to be punished to the fullest extent of the law.
Relationships. Did not expect to hear that.
Impressionable. $1 a month in child support. The strange wife, Samantha.
The law.
Absolutely. Well, in other news, Tyrese is now officially single. He was in court yesterday, and he was in divorce court with his estranged wife, Samantha Gibson, and they wrapped up a lot. You know, at first I think he was paying like $2,000 a month. Now he's paying $10,690 a month in child support. Of course.
That is $120,000 a year.
Of course, the judge had something to say. The judge wasn't really feeling Tyrese. It seemed like it.
You have a very impressionable young human being who right now looks up to both of you. Mr. Gibson, man, I'm talking to you. This is real, okay? I'm talking about your kid. You're wandering off into space, man. I want you both to love your kid, and I want you both to tell your kid to love the other parent. Because that's how we get successful human beings who then, when they go out into relationships, they learn that relationships, even when they don't work, don't have to be dumpster fires, okay? And I'm not saying this one is. And I want you guys to do your jobs going forward and raise a bright, intelligent.
She had some choice words with his daughter. He's going to do what's right to make sure his daughter's okay. Now, Vivica Fox, she had some choice words for Nick Cannon. They were talking about the amount of kids Nick Cannon has.
I don't like it. I mean, you know, y'all can be like, well, he got money, this, that, and the third, but foundation of Black families, especially a strong father figure, is needed. This isn't a good representation of it, in my opinion.
He has an empire. So do you have time for all these kids?
You know, children deserve a father figure, especially young boys. They need positive father figures, especially African-American, because they Black. I've seen so many people that in the past have dated like athletes and gotten child support. What if he gets hurt? Things happen.
Yeah, I wish we get out of the, well, he has the money, because it's way more than money.
Well, there's a lot to that, right? I mean, you know, I can't sit here and say Nick wouldn't be a strong father figure.
That's all I got for y'all, man. What the fuck? I don't know, man. I think that's all I got for y'all right now. Did someone respond to something old? I guess the last thing I'll do is show y'all this I'm athlete shit. Hold on. Fuck that. Nick Cannon deserves my title. It's a short I put up. And let me see if they got it. What's this dude's name from I'm Athlete? Brandon Marshall? Brandon Marshall, Joe Budden. I might just have to post the clip show y'all the clip I posted. Canon YouTube? That's what my shit is called? Oh, no, it's something else. Where are you? Live. Post. Videos.
From the beginning, Fred was like, you know what? I believe in ownership. He said, I believe in ownership. Boom. All right, say no more. Channing said his exact words, I like security. I don't really like to take those chances or whatever. I'm going to take the per show fee. Now, Fred T come, and he like, yo, let's have that meeting. So I was like, say no more. Let's talk. So I'm up there at noon. Me and S.A. sitting there. No Fred T.
Oh, he didn't come?
No show, no call. And this is where Fred and I bumped heads. And I looked at him and it was very simple. And this is where the heated conversations came in at. It's just like, bro, like, if this flopped, would you have come back and gave me $500,000, $700,000? From the beginning, Fred was like, you know what?
Guess you can't subscribe to yourself. All right, yeah. So as far as that's concerned, I Am Athlete and Joe Budden, they did like a collab. Podcasters doing collabs are pretty cool. So basically, Joe is on vacation. He's finna go to Greece, or he's probably in Greece as we speak. And he did some interviews with a few people. Angie Martinez. Haven't watched that one yet. I watched all of this one with the I Am Athlete. And they had very similar situations. Basically, Joe Budden was talking about his breakup with Rory and Mal and how he overcame that. And Brandon Marshall was looking for insight on that because he broke up with his original people, Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder. And to make this video short, because it is a pretty long interview, an hour long. Excuse me. Basically, Brandon Marshall was saying that the way things went about was pretty fast. They blew up pretty fast, and before they blew up, he said, y'all got two options, you know, as far as business-wise. Y'all can get paid every episode. So I'm guessing he was saying that he was paying Fred and Channing to come to the episode, or that was an option. Channing was like, I'll take that option. The other option was, you know, you can have some ownership over, like, this brand. That's what Fred wanted. But you gotta put in money for that. And I think he said like $35,000 a person. Maybe a little bit more, but you know, somewhere around there. And Brandon says he wasn't getting paid, his wife wasn't getting paid, and somebody else wasn't getting paid. You know, starting a business type shit. Long story short, with the Fred part, basically saying Fred didn't hold up his end with the meetings and as far as doing ownership, blah blah blah. He just came, did his interview, left type shit. And Fred has admitted to not having getting some business handled on the Breakfast Club, but ultimately they blew up. Fred wanted to get back to the table on that ownership, that offer that he was given for $35,000 or more. And basically Brandon's like, yo, this blew up now, like you gotta put in more money. You know, you can't put in the same money when we started, when we didn't know if it was gonna be something, and now it blew up. And so I get it. I kind of wanted to make this because it's very important for people to know that Brandon Marshall started something without them. I Am Athlete is not House of Athlete. House of Athlete is his brand. House of Athlete is workout stuff, mental health, physical health as far as eating and nutrients and stuff like that. He goes out to combine. He actually holds combines. They're actually pretty good. I watched a few of them. He goes out, you know, he does a lot of these different things. And House of Athlete's been around for a good while, so I kind of understand where Brandon's coming from, trying to give them options in the business. Also, you know, ownership or just getting paid. I also understand that he probably doesn't want them to have the last say so with his brand. It's his brand. I Am Athlete's just a branch. Could be the only branch, but it's just a branch of House of Athlete. So I don't know if they're offered a piece of House of Athlete or I Am Athlete. More than likely, I'm Athlete. But I guess that conversation turned bad. People probably cut some folks out and all the good stuff. Brandon's not good with talking to people, and so isn't Joe Budden. So that's where that one goes. As far as Joe Budden's situation, Rory and Maul talk about accounting. Rory believes he wasn't paid like he was supposed to be paid because their contract says it's based on percentage. So if they make $100,000 and Rory's supposed to get 20% of that, then he's supposed to get $20,000. The podcast kept getting bigger, and Rory didn't think he was getting paid the right amount through an accountant or a lawyer or something like that. Asked for an accountant. Joe didn't like that. Whole situation blows up. Joe Budden and his friends break up. Maul is mad about the friendship, the way he was talked to. Maul didn't give a fuck about the money, whatever. Similar situations. That's that. Channing, on the other hand, Channing is like Maul. He didn't like how he was talked to. That's all I got for y'all, man. I didn't want to explain all that, but there you go. Simple as said and done. Now I got things to do. Deuces.